Okay, YouTube, it is April the 7th, Saturday morning. I finally got a Saturday off where I can get some work done in the garage, Easter weekend and all. Been having to work a lot of overtime, haven't got a lot done to the truck. Starting to aggravate me. It seems like every time the weather turns nice, they decide we need to be in there for overtime. And actually, my opinion is a lot of the overtime is unnecessary. But enough about that. It's a beautiful morning, and I'm really glad to be off this morning. Let's see, I'll show you what little I have gotten done. We did bolt the turbo on it. It came out here one night through the week. Haven't had some hectic afternoons after work too. Always somebody calling, wanting something, and it's like everybody else's stuff becomes before my own stuff, and I need to learn to say no. But let's see, what else have we been up to? I shipped the old radiator off to have it pressure tested, and as you can see, the results weren't good because we got a brand new aluminum replacement radiator for it. The radiator shop was like an old school radiator shop, which is getting kind of rare in this town. They flushed it out, the old one out, which was not leaking when the truck was running, by the way. At least I don't think it is. Every now and then I noticed a little antifreeze under the truck while I was using it, and I kept blaming it on a hose. I kept retightening, and it would stop for a while and then start back up. So it may have been the radiator. But anyway, after they flushed all the crud out of it, it started leaking everywhere, and they recommended that this was cheaper and better way than recoring it. So that's what I did. $440 for that puppy, but actually the aluminum replacement is cheaper than the brass replacement. And I think the aluminum would be better. Pretty nice radiator though. So what we got in store for today is, well, Angel's trying to make her appearance in the video again. Let's see, I've got some parts laying around here somewhere I'm going to have to sandblast. Oh, they're not in here. Last night I laid them in the shed. So what I'll be doing today is I'm going to get these small parts sandblasted, just a couple brackets that bolt to the radiator support. Some small mist stuff, some shims that actually go under the radiator support, kind of like fender shims. Some of y'all might know what those are, stuff like that. But flywheel shield, I'm going to go ahead and sandblast and paint it. We're not going to turn it into a huge project. I'm just going to spray paint that stuff. I think that'll work just fine with some good durable engine enamel. And one thing I did do last night, a little air compressor modification. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Get this camera strap off my hand without shaking too much. And every time I want to drain my compressor, I always had to stumble back here, reach underneath of it, and undo the pit cock. You know, originally most of these compressors come with a release valve. It's like a radiator pit cock. They're tight, they hurt your fingers, you got to reach up under it. Mine started leaking, so I went to a hardware store, bought a gas valve, and did that. I think it's a nice little tip to do your air compressor. It makes letting the air out just a little easier. I mean, you know, it's a simple task either way, but when you've been working all day and you're tired and maybe, you know, a little sore, it's just nice to just reach under there and flip a lever instead of reaching way under there and trying to loosen a tight pit cock valve, which seats too tight. But enough about that. I just like to include that in my videos, little things that I do around here to make things easier on myself and anybody else that works on their stuff. Alright, go pause the camera and do some sandblasting and get to work. I'll try to show my progress throughout the day. Stay tuned. Alright, it's still Saturday. Got my sandblasting done, thankfully. Kind of tired of sandblasting. Just going to do a little spray painting on the stuff I cleaned up. And, you know, hopefully I'll do a little assembly this afternoon or some of it while I'm waiting for each coat to dry here. I'm not getting too involved in this one. Like I said, just using some engine enamel on these parts. These are parts that are not really prone to be rusting that much. Actually, those shims would be, but they're not rusty now, so I think a good 3 or 4 coats of this stuff will do just fine. Just hope I don't get overspray on my camera. Alright, this is a little awkward. Let me get this painted and then I'll show you what I'm doing next. Okay, still Saturday. We got our parts painted. Now we're starting a little assembly. As you can see, I got the manifold on the passenger side hanging by one bolt. And a little bit about the exhaust manifold bolts. I had trouble finding manifold bolts for this truck. They're metric. It's a M510 thread or M10 thread, I forgot exactly. I bet it's on this box somewhere. Let's see. M1015, yeah. I'm not really familiar with metric sizes. I have to deal with them at work a lot, but I don't have them all memorized like I do the standard threads. But it's M1015 thread. There are M1010 threads, I think, too. So metrics can be very easy to get confused with each other. I don't like it. But here they are. And like I said, I had trouble finding manifold bolts for it. Of course, all I need is 8 of them, or 16 of them, 2 per port. And went to a hardware store, Ace Hardware to be exact. It was pretty good about having all kinds of stainless steel bolts and metrics, all sizes, large sizes, pretty much anything you want. Long bolts that most hardware stores don't have, but they didn't have these. And I looked and looked on the internet, couldn't find anything but a box of 200. So I ended up with a box of 200, which really was a decent price because it was $75 for the whole box. And you got to think, a bolt like it is usually about $2.50 a piece. So I'll use what I need and keep some for spares and maybe eBay the rest of them off. Could probably get my money back. But if anybody needs exhaust manifold bolts for a Powertroke diesel, I got them. Contact me. Okay, next thing, we ordered some gaskets. Originally, I'm not sure if any of the Powerstrokes came with gaskets, but you can get gaskets for these to help correct any kind of warped manifold problems or burnt manifolds, which, if you remember my earlier videos, I machined these off. So what I was getting at on the assembly here, this is probably going to be the hardest task, getting the manifolds and downpipes on this. As you can see, I've already worked my downpipes up inside of the outlet on the turbo, or inlet rather, that, yeah, I believe air gets forced into that. And this would not be fun if this truck was all together. I'm here to tell you, if I was doing this to a truck that I wasn't restoring, I'd still be tempted to tear the front end off of it just so I could get to everything. I've also read in some forums where people recommend pulling the transmission. If your truck isn't fully disassembled like this, pulling the transmission might be worth your while, just to save you a lot of torn knuckles and cussing and kicking and not being able to get the bolts and stuff like that. But when you go to put all this together, you need to have your downpipes at least slid up in the turbo first. And I haven't put my flanges and donut gaskets in it yet because I want to make sure of something. I had to cut, if you remember, like I said, I milled these surfaces here, which is going to move your manifolds in, which I don't think will be a problem because those downpipes do travel in and out. Right here, as you can see, that slides in and out quite a bit. And your donut gasket is what seals. But I'm just going to kind of, before I put my donut gaskets in there, and I will use exhaust sealer on those, because I heard it can be a problem. Some people replace donut gaskets and still had a leak. Hopefully I won't, using the sealer. But the reason I'm going to go ahead and test fit everything together before I use any sealer, I just want to make sure all that lines out, since I did cut off that manifold, and make sure I don't have to cut some of this off just so that my manifold can seat into the flange, donut flange, if that's what you want to call it, and yet still have enough room to meet up against the engine. So I'm going to test fit all that. Before I do it, I'll pause the camera and I'll tell you how that works out, and hopefully we'll show some more assembly. Stay tuned. Okay, we're back. Got everything put together loosely just for a test fit, and so far so good. We'll crawl under the truck here and I'll show you what I was kind of worried about, and I had nothing to worry about. If you can see, let me turn on my flashlight. What I was concerned about, since I had cut metal off the exhaust surface of the manifold, I was concerned about this part right here being moved in too far and not lining up with my flange. As you can see, I'll hold the flashlight in my mouth and show you, so I'll be talking funny. Well, I can't do that. As you can see, it lines up just right. I was a little worried about that, but actually, if I'm going by memory, that thing did not line up very well to begin with, but it was also tight up top where it goes into the turbo too, so it could have been twisted wrong. When I first put it together, I noticed, I wish I could mount this light somewhere. I should have thought about that before I turned on the camera. Maybe that'll stay. At first it worried me because this, I don't know if I can move that pipe, but yeah, it looked kind of like that, and all I had to do was twist the pipe around and it lined up just fine. And the other side, don't know how well you can see that in the dark. There you go, it lines up just perfect. And like I said, on the other side, I think maybe the metal I removed from the manifold helped it line up just a little bit better. So what I have to do next is I'm hoping I can back the exhaust manifold bolts out as far as I can get them without them completely coming out of the threads, and slide these manifolds back, and I'll be able to get my pipes out, put my donut gaskets and the exhaust sealer on there, and snug everything up. But before I do that, something I almost forgot about. I don't think I ever remembered to get some new bolts here for the flanges on the exhaust manifolds. I gotta see if I have anything here. If not, I'm gonna have to make a trip to the hardware store tonight, because tomorrow is Easter and I'm not sure who is going to be open, if anybody's going to be open at all. Okay, I'm going to get that taken care of and I'll show you what I can on video. Stay tuned. Okay, YouTube, it's still Saturday afternoon. Got some daylight left, but we got one side done. Just wanted to, and I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. And like I said before, if you don't have your front end stripped down like this, I would recommend that you pull your transmission, because if you got especially on these models with the donut gaskets, I don't know about the later models, I heard they did away with the donut gaskets on the ones that go right in here. The pipe is, you can't really see it, but the pipe runs down there to the manifold. And what I had to do was, okay, I had to remove this manifold after I had everything test fitted together. I had to remove it completely. Had to take the downpipe back out, and I slid my donut gasket. Well, I slid my flange on it, but it would not fit back up between the firewall and the engine, so I had to take that back off. Luckily, I did not use sealer yet. I knew better than to do that. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. And so I slid the pipe back up in there. Had to find a way to hold it so it wouldn't fall down on me while I got back on top. Put my flange, which looks like this is for the other side, slid it over the pipe. Slid my donut gasket over it, and then I had to put my exhaust sealer on it. And here's where the kicker was. You got to get all this together before the exhaust sealer dries up, of course. And this stuff that I used, where is it? Right here. Dries kind of quick, so I'm hoping that's not going to cause anything. It's probably still tacky where it couldn't get air, because once I put my sealer on, I shoved that pipe up in there. Managed to slide my flange up in there, which was not easy. I mean, it was a wrestling match the whole way, because you have no room for your hands. Even if you got small hands like me, I'm not a big guy. Once I got that in there, then you got to put your exhaust manifold back on, and you go ahead and you get all your bolts started. Don't tighten them, and then your flange down here that goes from the downpipe to the back of the manifold where the exhaust comes out, Gotta get your boat started there. Once you get those bolts in there, don't tighten them. Then you go back and tighten all these manifold bolts, and that will shove your pipe on up in there to the position it needs to be, because it needs to be in the right position so that your flange down here at the bottom, the exhaust outlet, seats up against your exhaust manifold. Then, like I said, after you tighten these, you tighten those two bolts where your exhaust outlet is, that goes to the downpipe. And then you got to crawl under the truck, get way up in here. I would like to find a wrench. Oh yeah, I had to use this setup right here. It's a 10mm swivel socket. Don't use a swivel extension, it won't work. You need the swivel socket if you got to do this. The swivel extension, I never had good luck with swivel extensions, they tend to break. But I don't know if you can see way up in there, but you had to work it way up in there. Yeah, it's hard for me to do this both hands and hold the light, so I'm not going to get that wrench up. I was hoping to show you how that wrench has to go up in there, but you got to get, you can see that shiny bolt up in there. I'm trying to look at my camera and see if I can see it. Yep, I think it's there. Yeah, and this is the easy side. The other side has got to go up through, right up through there. You got to worm your socket up in there and find a way to hold it in place. It's easier if you have two guys. One guy at the bottom to hold your wrench and keep it from falling, while the other guy kind of guides it on with his hands. And then you tighten those two bolts at the turbo inlet flange, whatever you want to call it. I just wanted to go over that. I was hoping to get some kind of helpful information included in this video. And now I get to do the other side. I'm hoping this side will go a little quicker. I kind of know the procedure a little better now, and in this side I got more room to work with. As you can see, these bolts right here, and there's another one down there. Those are going to be easier to get to. I got some hand room there, mostly because my wastegate isn't bolted on. That's another tip. Take your wastegate off before you even attempt to remove those. Whenever you go to taking them off, just drop the manifold bolt. Okay, I'm going to try to at least get this other side done tonight. And I will be very happy to have that much of it done, because I knew it wasn't going to be easy or fun, and I wasn't really looking forward to it. But I'm glad I got that part of it done. Stay tuned. More to come. Okay, still Saturday night, and I'm glad to say that the manifolds and downpipes are on this thing. Just want to show what I got done. Turned out okay. Made a little bit of a mess with the exhaust sealer, but that couldn't really be helped. You pretty much got to, like I said, do everything in a hurry before your sealer sets up. I'm hoping that wasn't a mistake with the exhaust sealer, but I have read that when you reuse your downpipes, and just replace donut gaskets, they can leak, so that's why I used it. We'll try it and see what happens. Everything looks pretty good with the new bolts and the sandblasted and painted exhaust manifolds. Downpipes are also painted. You've seen those. Angel's happy about it. And I guess that's all we're going to do for tonight. I've already cleaned up. That was kind of a grueling task. Plus we did quite a bit of sandblasting this morning and did get those parts painted. So at least I got a little something done on this beautiful Saturday. The weather was great. Air is just right. You know, it's 68 degrees right now. It got a little warm today. But that's all for now. I don't know if I'll get anything done tomorrow. It is Easter. If I get anything done at all, I'll start another video on it. Just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I think we're up to 42 or 43 subscribers now. I really appreciate that. Channel's not doing too bad considering what little advertising I've done. Actually, I've done no advertising except for what the videos that are actually on YouTube. I haven't connected with Facebook or anything like that. That would probably get me a lot more views and help me with the AdSense account thing. But thanks for all your views, and anybody new that hasn't subscribed yet, if you like my videos, comment, subscribe, and that's all for now. Thanks for watching.